Hello, how you guys doing? Good morning to you, good day to you, and good afternoon. I got a little audience. Pretty much ain't gonna show video today. This is something I want to pretty much get off my heart, and it's concerning relationships with men and women today. Uh, I had a have a friend of mine, and you probably seen it on the video. He got a new job, and the older job he was working at, he's been one of these people that's been work one company, work for 10, 15 years. The company goes belly up under, or they get laid off, and it costs. It can be pretty hectic at times. My thing, but what really surprised me, and I'm hearing a lot on social media, how you have women who are wives, sometimes they're girlfriends, and when a man wants to make a change, how some women don't want to be on board with it. And even though you can do everything as a man, just like my friend who supports his family, he's the ultimate father. I mean, he take care of his daughter. He has a son that he takes care, has a son who has autistic, and he worked his ass off. And I remember, when we got out of high school, how we went around Northeast Ohio looking for jobs everywhere, because the town where we were living at, it's kind of a lot of what they call nepotism, kind of job you got to. Sometimes, in some cases, it was racism, nepotism. By us being black men, black men back then, it was kind of hard to get into certain companies, and it was like maybe 5 companies in the town, major companies in the town that we live at, and the only way you can get in there, you had to know somebody, and the only job, and then when you get a job or get something that really don't even have a career, it's kind of like you get these a little bit above wage jobs, like at that time in the 90s, I was finding jobs making $8 an hour, and you working at a little aluminum factory, and the wages is not even there. And he was going through something similar to that, but when he got married, he had to go shoot for the higher paying job, because he has a wife and he has to take care of family, and plus he's trying to get a house. In which he did get a house, when he was younger, 25, 30 years later, and he's trying to get his wife to see the vision about she need to get a full-time job, but she gets complacent to the point that she wants to fall on him. He's paying the car note, he's paying the house mortgage, he's paying all the bills, cell phone bill, you name all the bills, taxes and everything, and she can barely, the little money that she had can only work in part-time, and it was not in the position. And he's trying to say, hey, if you can we can get a little bit above the head if you can help me out. We work full-time since the kids are almost pretty much grown, and his wife didn't want to work, and sometimes, and I'm not to try to put a business out there, but I just want to make this an example that, and I watched him struggle, because I trying to be persistent after getting out of the armed services. It's rough for a veteran to get out and try to find a job, for any veteran, and now it seems like good thing it plays in your favor in some way if you are a veteran, because they take special note with that, because you have a lot of people who are veterans, and rightfully so. But what I notice is that He's done everything as a father, does everything as a leader in his family, makes sure his kids are all right, overprotect his children when they're in a crisis. Fight like tooth and nail, like he's doing with his son right now. With the going up against the, the the county, the government, and things like that. And it's just sad that seeing all that. And hate to say this, and not to put his business out. It seems like it's sad that there are women like his wife that don't understand the magnitude of appreciative of a man that does the right thing by the order of time, society, mostly by God, and then by men and women who are righteousness. And when you're doing the right thing and people seeing you trying to make the fight, when especially comes to having a household. And we talk about things, and how the way the job, where the area where he lives at, where I used to live at, the jobs don't pay that well. They don't. There's no advancement. There's no career. There's no. They're making it's kind of hard to even now to be making it, especially when you have a house and you're trying to make it on $19 an hour, and inflation is going up, and it's really rough out there, and this is why he's trying to get a job, and he was always trying to shoot to get a job higher that pays higher so it can make a little bit of his ends meet. And it took him a while. I mean, he's had jobs locally at that time that make $15 to $18 an hour. And then the companies work for, after you put in one company for 25 years, the story. They pack up and the profits don't, they margin and profits and things don't meet to the certain standard, so they had to close down the building. And next thing they cut the workers, and the workers got to go and give you a little service package, and sometimes they don't get nothing at all, and then you got to go about your business. And that's the case with every other company. And so he's been going through that, and luckily while he was in service, he had HVAC, so that kind of played in his favor that he took he had a certificate in HVAC, and that was one of the things that played into where he's about to go now. And I was like, I can congratulate him, but I understood that. And then particularly, he had to go back to a city where he had some problems with the city at first, and that's Toledo, Ohio. And at first, and his family, and even I was like, John, you sure you want to go back to Toledo, Ohio? But when he said that the company that hired him down here in Columbus, they need him up in Toledo, he's at this point, he said, man, I don't care. He said, I have to do what I got to do. He said, hey, the money's right, because right now, the company it was his last day. It was one of those rumors that got back that they're going to shut down the particular workplace. They had to go through that whole scenario, whole situation over again. So he had to find another job, and plus the things dealing with his son, dealing with some other things in the area. I'm ready to get up out of here and start over again. And where it comes to his wife don't want to leave. She wants to stay there, but I work this little part-time job. But he's trying to tell her, hey, we can't, our circumstances, we need to get something better. And the thing about it is, his family's living, most her family's gone. Her mom, her dad, her brothers. She only got a few siblings left, and they don't even live in the area no more. So I was telling him, like, what is the sense of holding on? What if she wants to stay there for it? She don't want to leave the house. She don't want to leave the area. But it's like, do you understand that you can get to a better situation than what it is? And how come? And they've been going through it off and on for over a certain amount of time. It's like, wow, you've been married for going on 30-something, close to 30-something years. Or not, she don't trust you. She don't. believe in your leadership and stuff like that, don't want to follow you, and you're trying to improve your finances, trying to get a better, go to something better, that means you might have to leave to get to something better that maybe somehow they can work out to deal with your finances and stuff concerning the household and everything. But it's just, I don't understand with some of these women today, like his wife, that they want to, they want to have that dominance and controlling. She's one of the women that when you married for a certain amount of time, they're trying to maintain that dominance. My opinion, what I say, and it's kind of, I should have some say, in which it's sad that as a husband, she don't respect his leadership, don't respect his judgment, and I find out there's a lot of couples that's going through this. That there's a lot of people. That's one of the reasons why some people marriages are ending, because they don't, there are men, good men like my friend, that is the ultimate man. He does everything what a father should do. In fact, he practically spoiled his children. He spoiled his grown children. Give them everything that they got. Be there, fight on their behalf and do everything as a father. And then you have his grown daughter is getting upset because he wants to leave town. And with she's already have a friend that she's staying with. She's grown. The son, the oldest son, is grown, and right now they over. He's checking, making sure his youngest son, who's just turned 18, and he's autistic, and he's in, trying to get into a house. You know what I mean? So, and I made a video about this in the past, but the reason why I want to talk about this topic is it's just that the men are getting tired, and we talked about this, and I've seen it on social media. You've seen it in my videos where men are getting fed up with women that want to be so picky and want to spend money. And I just got done hearing a commentary say that, when a couple comes together, they should work on, make an agreement to try to help each other. It takes two to work things out. It takes two these days. We're not living back in a time where you can do it on one person's income. The way the inflation is right now, it literally takes two people, and it's better to take two people because you eating that burden off of one another. And so, but you have women who unrealistically try to live like some women over in the country where that can probably fly with another country, but we in America, and the cost of living is a little bit different. And you have a lot of women that are entitled, that feel they want to be cozy and comfortable. And you have to be realistic about it. And and it's sad that when your husband is trying to do like what most husbands do by the eyesight of God and lead a family, you want to fight him and things on it. You want to fight you're trying to control him like a child. And you have some women that never don't know how to live and trust and let God lead this man to lead the family. Give him the vision to lead the family. And there's a reason why he's put in that position as the head of the household. So because he gives him the vision. And especially when the man applies the vision and goes out and do it the right way and fight the right way and know when to battle the right way. And sometimes it gets wore down. Sometimes, he told me, what he goes through on the job. Being a black man, you're going through some stuff. Being a man, period, but being a black man, you go through triple things because it's a man-on-man thing, and where he was one or two blacks out there, so you could only imagine what some of the things he's been through and how they mistreat you on the job, how the way they dog you out. They don't think too highly of you, and so you constantly battling with something like that. I mean, it goes. It happens to everybody, but and I don't mean to make this a race thing, but it's a man thing, but particularly if you're a black man or you the odds are always up against you 10 times than the average the other men. Other men go through things, but you got to go through 5 times worse than the other man because you on that job and they don't think you're adequate. They're testing you, they're watching you, they feel like you're like their personal mule that they kick to the side and they can just do you any other kind of way. So you constantly mentally being challenged with that, talk it down on because they don't think you can do the job. Like you've been there about damn near a year, been at the job been there a year, a week to almost past 2 or 3 weeks, and they still talking to you like you. And you have to mentally deal with that, along with trying to do your whatever particular job you got to do. And this is the case with him. He had to sometimes psych himself out and come and try not to get alienated and agitated because he had to deal with stuff like that. He was telling me recently, one time he went to go, while he was on to work, he was taking something to the dumpster. In an area where he worked at, somebody drive by him, called him the N-word out of the car while he was going to work. And he told him, come on back here so I can whoop your butt. Right? He was the only one out there. And he was just telling me that. I'm like, damn, that's something. So men go through something. Black men go through it worse on the job. And unless you cow down and tell they and don't stand your ground, they'll run over you. That's the truth. And that was his case. But he's not the kind of person that walk around with a chip on his shoulder. He just kind of laugh it off, and he comes at home and let it know his day what's going on. But this particular company where he's going to sound like it's going to be a lot better because it's a he was saying he's about 7 years from a retirement. And it was people around him, his daughter, his wife, and a few other people saying, well, you're too old to get another job. No one's going to hire you. And he turned around at 57 years old, got this job. And, he just passed the interview. And what I like about that the company, they didn't do like some of the company that called him. They didn't bullshit with him. They didn't put him through some ridiculous test. Like he was saying about, and I hate to put a company out there, but if you work for some place like Honda, they have to make you. He said it's some testing that you have to answer these questions within 6 seconds, about 20, 30, and you don't pass them 6 seconds, you don't get hired. And he says no one can pass the test within 6 seconds. This is what company, and they wonder why a company like Honda can't hire nobody because they have these ridiculous tasks over there that there's no one can pass it. It's kind of impossible. And then there was one company down here that was here in Columbus, Ohio. It's a lot of nepotism. It's a well-known company that was an industry company and he passed all the whistles and bells because he had experience from working with different chemicals, customer service, plants and everything. And he dressed the part, looked the part, answered the part, was real cooperative, did everything at the right. And then these fools had to tell him that after he took time off to drive from 2 or 3 hours down here to come to the interview, only for letting him come and take. He was ready to go and move down here, and they told him some bullshit. Oh, we hired somebody. Now he answered all the questions. Not only that he was qualified, he's qualified with the HVAC and some other, and he has a good work record. He has a steady work record. Sound like his credit is pretty good. What is it now? And so he got to contend with something like that. But to have your woman fight you like this on every decision, it's not good. And I'm surprised after so many years that he haven't left her. Most men would have been gone. Some of the things his wife put him through, because she barely ever cooked for him. He tells me he does the cooking with. Sometimes they have to order eat out when he gets home. You know, he has to cook or eat or he's out. She cooked maybe once in a while. But that's another thing. The man's going out there pushing 40, 60 hours at some plant. How come he can't come home to a good meal? And when you're working part-time at a part-time job, which you have time to do, and then you probably got a driver everywhere because she's scared to get on the road. So he does more joy to run around. And this is the case, man, why some couples, people been going through that and it'll go on for, be married for almost 30 some years, man, to deal with that. You know, even his own parents said that. His own mom and dad said they wouldn't put up with someone like that. And if they're not helping you and working alongside you, working together to come under a plan, and you got one person is giving, one person is kind of slagging back and complaining and being complacent, and it's just a lot of men don't feel appreciated, and a lot of women like his wife is going to be alone. They have that mindset is being alone. It's already projected that. We already talk about that. He was telling me about a story how this guy, he was a truck driver. His wife is a lawyer, and he was telling me how she felt like she was above him because she made more money, and his little $100,000 isn't nothing. I said, $100,000 isn't nothing? $100-something. Lord, so he said one day, you know, she kept on being demanding. When you gonna? She got that masculine mindset. What you gonna do? You gonna come back here and you gonna do this and that this? And he said, the man said that one day he packed up his stuff, kissed his kids, and said, "Hey, I'm out of here." He told John that. So I was like, damn, you know. He said, I can't live with someone like that. Just trying to dominate, control me. You have a lot of women that don't know how to be a wife. They want to be the dominator. They trying to, and there's no man is going to deal with the stubborn, rebellious, contentious woman. That's got to be the alpha male when he's just been proven that he is the alpha male. He has, and you fighting up with someone who's being an alpha male when he's out there providing for you, fighting for you, been fighting for your kids up until they're grown, speaking on their behalf, speaking on and dealing with the injustices at his job and contentious things in everyday life. You know, done what he had to. He went to the military at 42 years old. Did some of the best things that the younger recruits have done. That's how determined he was. 42 years old, going to the Air Force military. Because he had prior military experience when he was in the Army. But that tells you a lot, that he would do anything, and that's the ultimate thing. And at the course of time, you know, he went on waited out because they wasn't really paying no money. Being, you know, part-time reserves don't really pay that money. That's why some reservist people have to work another job. Because sometimes you get a check, but it's not probably, from what it sounds to me, it's like he said, man, I make more out here than doing reserve. I say, wow. But I just don't understand so the reason why you're going to see a lot of men, and it's really sad that you have men and women going this opposite direction, married after 25, 30 years, and then some men see how some men get a divorce, or a woman can decide, I don't want to be with you no more, I'm taking everything. And the man who in this society has to pay for the divorce, who has to pay for spouse support, child support, and whatever, And if he's at a good job, it's not like he's like a billionaire, millionaire, and they can somehow recover from that. You know, someone get half your stuff, they have half your stuff. Especially if it was something that you want to work in marriage, because he said, I don't really want to at this point in time. I don't want to go through a divorce because to start all over again is rough. I say this, I had another friend of mine that I was in his wedding, and his wife was something else. I mean, his ex-wife was something else to deal with. I mean, she's like this guy's wife, and I know him since college, and she fought him on everything. They got three kids together. One day, and so we didn't talk for we didn't meet up till years later, because one time she came at me. I came out there to visit him, and she got mad because I came a day early to visit them. And then she was kind of nitpicky. Yeah, she's one of those kind of people was kind of nitpicky. Like one time when I was out there, we was at church, and I'm just smiling at the baby, and she kind of so-called corrected me because I smiled at her baby. We in church, and I never forget that. I was like, what the heck's wrong with this woman? But she and I knew she was gonna be a problem for him down the road. And sure enough, that she was. She tried to, and he, at years later, back in 2018, he left her, and she, went on Facebook and said, "I don't understand after all these years," and she wasn't listening. She didn't respect his opinion as a man. He's a father, and he done as he can as a father to do. He left his hometown to move out to Kansas and raise his children. And when he go to discipline them or correct them, she fights him on it. She didn't allow him to be the father, and he was white. Not that had anything to do with it, but But he finally, and the reason why I had to say that, because the funny part about it, he ended up now the girlfriend which is with now is a black woman. And not only is she a black woman, she's Haitian. Go figure. I mean, but hey, so it don't, which that shouldn't matter. But dang. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know what's wrong with some of these women today. I really don't understand with that the dominating personality, and they make it seem like, oh, woe is me. It's like they make like the guys a jerk. Well, some women have turned guys into jerks. Some guys were really nice and cooperative for a while. Then they turn them into jerks. They have literally turned some men into jerks. They really have. Because like you constantly challenging him, and he's trying to do the right thing, and he has his own opinion, his own feelings, his own objection, and they don't respect that. That's the truth. So we're seeing a lot of that these days. We're seeing a lot of. That's why there's some people are divorcing. And when you have someone, and I mean, I can speak as from the man's side. Like you got some women that get abused and get cheated on. That's wrong. Men get cheated on and abused too. Either way is wrong. But when you have when you understand marriage and what marriage is, and don't have the concept of what way God designed the marriage between man and woman, you're really messed up, and you're fighting your husband on everything. It's something wrong, and this is why these women can't keep a man, and this is why when they get laid up in age, they can't find a man because they're too stuck in their ways. In the case with my friend, and the thing about it is that he said because a marriage to break up, he got to do what he got to do because this was dealing with household, his finances. It's to the point that it was so bad that, not to tell his business, but it could be in the streets. So he had to take this job because what if that his place that he was working at is about to shut down in another year? So he saw ahead of time what was about to happen. And so, and his wife's trying to say, why can't you find something around here? So, the pay that he's looking for, it doesn't add up to the adequate for them to hold down that household. And she's not understanding that. And it's like some people don't see that that's the biggest thing, that it's a bigger vision with that person insight, what they see. They see God give men the provision like that, like my friend, to see things down the line. So they got to plan and how we going to do this and navigate, how we going to make this work, how we going to pay this bill, how we going to make it through the month. And he's trying to tell us what we can't go out and spend the kind of money because we got to navigate and figure how we're going to stretch it over to the whole month. Stretch your paycheck, and with utilities and things that are going on. Plus, you got other aspects of life. You can't eat out every night. That's probably makes a big difference in everything. You can't buy the things that she wants to buy. She wants to spend money. That money that they're trying to hold on. It's a typical case. And I don't understand. So we're gonna see an uptick in people breaking up. So if you start seeing couples break, that's probably one of the reasons why. That one or the other don't want to follow each other's vision. And sometimes it's the good men that do the right thing. Both people go out to work right, put in the work, and the woman they got a woman that's acting like a spoiled brat. Basically what it is. You don't give me enough attention. I want some more things. I want more. But she's not willing to sacrifice. He's sacrificing his time, his effort. And he raised his kids. I said, you did everything as a father you're supposed to do. Even his parents said that. You did everything. And he's, in fact, his own parents say, I think you spoiled him, kid, especially his daughter. His son, he got on his older son, but his older son doing really well for himself. And his other son, he needed because of his condition and stuff. But his daughter, she's spoiled. And she's a daddy's girl, but she's very spoiled, and I think he spoiled her too much, and that's what his parents say, But I say this is, and she got mad because he's leaving. He got to go in a month or so. He got to go and take care of home. And then the thing about it is, his wife's sister, where he's going, lives in the city where she at. So it's not like she's going to be alone. She got a family member. You got someone that you know how you go. You relocate to a town, you don't have nobody there, but at least you have a sibling there and they're pretty close. It's not, And I said, well, she gonna be out there with her sister. It's not like she gonna be alone. And something happened to her and her sister. They got each other's back out there in Toledo, But it's crazy, and I don't understand. I just don't. I think that's why it's so hard when I see a case like that. I don't want a woman like that. I don't want a woman. I would want a woman that fight me on everything. And even I'm out there pushing and striving because it's not to your approval and all. And I've dated women that they got a champagne mentality but got a ghetto budget mind. And wonder why they're broke. Wonder why they're not. And when men comes with correction in a decision, that we can enjoy the finer things in life down the road, but right now we got to take care of the major things. They don't want to follow along with the vision. They do not. And I hate to say this, that I have witnessed this with my own mother. My own mother, I love her. I love my mother, but even the man that she had didn't have the vision like my friends did. How he got his wife. See, she met a man that had this, that had the one on the flashy things, but meantime they broke. And my mother just recently got another car at 77 years old, and I told her this time, keep that car. Keep whatever. Don't keep. You can't do the things like you used to do when you were working. When you retired back in 1999, you can't go and keep trading in cars unless it's something really major. And she just want to flash. And just want, because you see something on TV, and you got to go and get it. You don't have to get everything. And it's like, why are you doing this, Mom? And she did this all throughout all my life, seeing this, and still wonder why she can't rub two nickels at times together, because the decision has she made. And I told her it's quite a bit different now. When you're retired, you have to be very frugal on what you're spending. You got rent you got to pay, you got your regular bills you got to pay. But it's just that the decision, and that's why it kind of, and now that her husband's gone, she still was in the same, did the same spending habit that I was when I was in school. Going from job to job, going from apartment to apartment, not job, but apartment, then getting an apartment, then going from furniture. I want to get away with this furniture. Then we don't turn in this car, and that costs money. I can see if the furniture is breaking down or the car is breaking down, but why you have to be like the Joneses all the freaking time? No one cares what you're driving, and ain't hardly no one ever come over and visit. What's with the furniture and thing? I just don't get it. It's like if someone come over, who are you trying to impress? I mean, hey, my stuff, I'm glad with the little that I can. I'm not here to impress nobody. I got a car is 20-something years old. I'm to the point I don't care about impressing nobody. And what someone think and what someone say, I don't care. I used to care, but when you get to a certain point in age in life, you don't give a crap. People gonna talk about you, whether you can be clean to the nines. They'll find something to talk about you about. You might look strange and weird to them. They'll find something to talk about. You can be halfway walking with a limp. They'll talk about you. You could be in the grave, and folks are gonna talk. And one thing an older person told me one time: no matter what, they're gonna keep on talking. They talk about people. Even when they dead, they talk about what they used to do on the person long gone and dead 10, 15 years. You still talk about them like it though. So people go. So you can. So what's the difference in trying to appease somebody? And people gonna they're gonna gossip. They're gonna gossip. But just a showboat this stuff. I just don't. I can't. I've never been that kind of person. I ain't got to wear jewelry and all this stuff like that. Who I'm impressing? They ain't go. And then sometimes you don't want to look too flashy because you can attract the wrong type of attention. You can attract someone who's a thief and a robber, a murderer. You don't know. So that's why it's good. Like some people who get money and flash and stuff like that. We live in a time you can't flash like that. Personally, you see how people is. They'll rob you. The people get robbed, and they'll rob you and delete you over stuff, over little trinkets and things, let alone big money. So people with money have to really be careful. If you're earning money or you have money, you gotta be careful. Even the closest people around you, they gotta be God sent around you. People that really care about you for you, not about what you can do. What about your status, your class, or anything? And so, get back to what I'm saying with my friend is just that, it seems like some women don't appreciate, and that's why. Then a lot of them want to take accountability that it's their own fault. They don't want to take the fault that it's their words that push this man away. They don't want to take the fault that they did it. They got to blame it on that person. And there's a case with my friend went to school, college in town. His wife did this. She didn't respect his wishes and protect him and listen to him as a man. And then to deal with certain insecurities that she had that drove him nuts. They thinking that you're gonna leave me because I'm gaining weight. You're gonna do this like I'm gonna I'm gonna leave you because you're gaining weight or this or that, nothing. If he been married to you for this, like my friend John here, what's he gonna go out there and cheat for? When my friend John got here, we wouldn't talk about no other women. He wouldn't even think about talk about other women. Either we went down here, but his wife thinks that once he go out there, he gonna go out there to work. He gonna go cheat on her. How you gonna cheat when he worked out of town before? When you got to work 60 hours, you ain't think about sleeping with nobody. When you working at a plant, you work 12 to 12 hours. You don't have time. And then you constantly check your wife checking on you. With any break you get, it's like you're married to the job. You go from you eat, sleep, work, get up, and go. Where you have time to cheat at? Where you have to, and it's the same thing. He gonna probably go when you got when the goal is to get the job done, get in that job for 90 days, and so to lock it down. But she said this to him. I'm like, are you serious? I said, bruh, when you have time to cheat? Every time I talk to you, always doing something. You always on the go. You always on. Well, you have time to cheat. And so you've been with her this long, and he cheated. Trust me, it would have shown at some point in time, but they haven't, because she heard what her and what he told me that her friends and other people get into her ear. That's another thing, and you let these people get in your ear, and they don't have no relationships within themselves. So you got these bitter ass people, bitter ass women, and probably might have been some men too, are bitter because they're jealous of your relationship, that they don't have that person, and then when they have something they don't know how to appreciate. They probably had it, and they push it away. A lot of times, and some women don't know, and in comparison, like some men don't. When you see something good, I learned this. When you see some potential, and there have been husband potential men that women have waved off because they don't meet a certain type. And that's why a lot of these women, they get to a certain age, they're single. This is the truth. They have to really take accountability. It's them. It's their personality. And sometimes it might be another woman that have to say, this, it's you. You did this. It's your personality. You give off these vibes that you don't want to be bothered. Like when I was showing the one video where the woman said she wished she could have a husband to help her out because she was having problems with her brakes. And then then the next video they showed her that there were men approaching her that wanted to get to know her. Why are these men approaching me? You creepy. I just give them whatever. And it's like, but you just got done crying online and saying that you need a husband. But soon God send you men your way a potential man that could be a husband, you wave him off. So that's why you see a lot of women be out here, and a lot of them are going to lose on men. That this some women, and I hate to say it, like the late Kevin Samuels said, they're going to be alone with the cat for the rest of their life because they can't accept and deal with what caused me to run these people away. And that's why I said you need to an honest relationship with the Most High God to show you as a woman what you need to do. Not with society. Sometimes it's gonna take God Himself to show you, and that's humbling yourself down. Or maybe He give you someone to show you, and you have to sit there and listen, not be so argumentative, debatable. You want to argue a point down. You want to prove this person wrong. You try to out argue them. You out speak them, out talk them, and you're not listening. That's why some women are going to be alone. They think they can't control their tongue. The Bible speaks about that. Controlling your tongue. Well, I understand you, but there's a right way of speaking your mind, but it's the way you speak it. You just don't flutter everything out of your mouth. Well, some people that's just the way. Then that means you're not trained to control your emotions. What come out of your mouth. That's the reason why. And these are some companies, they just so forspoken, but they don't use wisdom. And that's why they have literally pushed their blessings and ran their blessings off with their mouth. That's why you see some people are single. In some cases, they're single. It's what you say and what you put out there. And when some women and some men point this out, the people get offended because it fits them. And something can come over and over and over and over. And you sat down with a psychiatrist and he's saying this, he or she's saying that if they was righteous, they'd say the same thing and just put it plainly and blunt. But some people don't like things plainly and blunt. So therefore, they cause their own. Their own words is their own destruction. A lot of times, some of these women are single because their own words kept them single. Their actions kept them single. They run on TikTok. They run on YouTube, Facebook, keeping the word single. And then the vileness and the foulness come up out of them. And the way they present themselves, they got things that really turn some men off by their appearance. From the neck up. Wearing bonnets on your head. Some men don't like the earrings and piercings and tattoos unless that's what you're trying to get. That's if you want a man. Unless there's a man that don't mind that he got piercings and tattoos and whatever. In some cases, you got some men wearing bonnets on their head like women. Unless you go get that kind of person, but ain't no man that got some substance is going to want to deal with that of any race. Going to want to deal with that. I mean, it's the same thing that women to point about as men. Your appearance, you don't smell right. I got some things going on my mouth, but I'm just saying they'll point that out. They'll point out your height, but they got some things going with them too. The one they criticize, they got just 3 or 4 fingers pointing right back at them because of their personality. Some things could be corrected. So this is the reason why a lot of women are single. So there's a segment of women are single, and no matter what. And then you have women that giving other bad women advice on it, being a spoiled brat. Get what you want. Be his. Get that sugar daddy. Okay, but there's women have cost them their lives being a sugar daddy. It cost them more. No wisdom whatsoever. And why would you want possibly that man, all those men going into you? Is your body worth all that cost? Your soul? When you can have one man to give you the whole world that's sent by God to give you the things that you desire. And you don't have to worry about someone that can love you like Christ I'm just saying. And the sad thing about it is, some women don't even know how to love. So that's another reason why they're single. God's trying to show them what love is, but they don't even want to stop and take time out. Then anything that come out of his kingdom, a man that come out of his kingdom, is going to be there. But they got to learn to appreciate what you got. Because you can run that man away. He has a choice to leave. You don't have to put up with that. No person has to put up with that. If a man acts that crazy, that woman have a right to leave. She's gonna get tired. Then she's gonna lose. And that's what's in America. That's what's going on in other parts of the world. And sometimes it comes down. Some people ain't that's not your soul. What they call it, the mate that God had intended you to have. I kind of realized that too. They have appearance, they have the beauty, but they don't have the mindset. They pretend to be, but they're not ready. And I think you have to stay alone for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years to get all that and let God work on that to bring a mate to you. However long it takes, it's not, you're gonna meet the same person you're gonna run them away. Or you're gonna make that person bitter who's good to you, gonna turn him to a jerk. Or you're gonna meet a man that's a jerk. That don't love you. Don't care nothing about you. Because the energy you're putting out. That's what they don't understand. That's why Miss Sprinkle don't understand that. She giving bad advice, and these other women don't understand that. If you got that kind of mindset, and you teach, oh yeah, it's working so far. How long it's gonna work forever? What's gonna happen when you get your 50s, your late 50s, your 60s, or 70s? You can do when you was in your 20s, your 30s. Somewhere in your 30s, you still got it, but somewhere when you get past that 35, you can't do it. It ain't gonna work no more. Ladies, everything changes over time. Our bodies, our appearances changes. No matter how much exercise or cosmetic surgery you have, that ain't gonna do it. So wisdom takes time. But for the women that got a husband, you better appreciate the husband you got. The man that you have. Just like they tell men to appreciate the woman that they have, women need to appreciate the man that you have. Because like we was talking, he don't really watch the video and be on social media like I do, but you seeing men going to other places like that. They're leaving. They leave from all walks of life. They have fed up. Especially with some of these Western countries. They men are fed up. They at the point, if you ain't trying to act like you got some sense and let the man be the man who he is, to be that wife potential, there's some men, good men, are gone. And you're going to be left with the pretenders, men, that they want to play the role, but they want to use you as a side piece. Right, meanwhile, you done cheated and screwed over the good man, and he's gone. So, this is my advice to women. When you see something good, you better hold on to it. If you see some potential, he might not be at that point, but he's getting to that point. Because everybody have a starting point. There's no wealthy person that start at wealthy and got wealthier. They all had to start at some point. Or you want to climb and build. And look at the times we're living in. Do you want it? If you want to. I'm just being honest with you. Because there's a lot of good men like my friend. We're out here. The guys are out here. But when you have that controlling, dominating, manipulative spirit, it's not going to work on a man. And if a woman's telling you to do that, it's not going to work. He's going to grow angry. He's going to resent you. Then eventually he's going to say, "That's it." So you can play that boss chick. I got more money than you, more status, more education than you. You're going to lose. You're going to lose, ladies, because in the end, no man, even if he had the same equality of education and status, he don't want to be throwing that up in his face. And then you got to question his character. What if he's the opposite? What if he's like you so much that he don't care either? What if he's about his money? What if he's about his status? But God forbid if you go down and you go to illness, he gets up and literally split. You ever thought about that? Because stuff does happen like that to people who have money, who have higher status, class, and education. Something to think about for those out there who have it, that think that he got to be making $500,000. Oh, really? Really? In a downtown economy. So you don't understand what basic companionship is, and loving that person, and God grows that person over time. Even his income grows over time. Everybody has a start, and everybody has a finish. Not everybody come into the world with a silver spoon in their mouth, ladies. Don't make that the man that's lazy. A good hard-working man working at a garage or working a farm deserve the love and nurturing and affection like the man who's in the corporate office. Why? His character. And maybe people like my friend's wives should understand that. Other than that, and she's gonna find out. She don't get on board, and she can be hostile and fight, but she gonna be alone. Because I think that this time he made it up. Because he sacrificed before for her. He sacrificed the job, didn't take it because of what she said. He regretted it. But this time, opportunities like that come around once in a lifetime. But I just want to give you a little nugget. But yeah, if you got a good man, don't screw it over. Ain't too many good men out here that have the heart like God. Have heart of a potential of a husbandry like Christ. You better. I'm telling you the truth. This is a message to you. The women are single and widowed and divorced. And for you to be divorced, you should know. And ask yourself, are you ready to go to another relationship if you're divorced? The widows and the singles is different. Women are different. But if you are divorced, think about it. Are you ready to get back to another relationship? Alright then. But yeah. But I got a message to women. You better appreciate the men that you have, because you're going to see a lot of men leaving. I said this a long time ago. They're leaving. Shh. They're gone. And you're going to say, why, Lord? What's wrong with the men? You're going to say, go look in the mirror. Look, and probably show you, with some of you. And look what some women say online. At the end of the day, it's come back to the men. Either way, it's come back to the men. That's all I gotta say. I hope you take this wisdom. love and appreciate what you have. You got something good there. All right, then. Until next time, take care. Be blessed.